Today we're going to be showing you how to install Boost Auto Parts power folding 4th gen style mirrors onto your 2nd gen Dodge Ram. This only applies to power folding mirrors. If you're looking to install manual folding mirrors, please reference a separate Boost Auto Parts video. This applies to 1994 to 2001 Ram 1500 as well as 94 to 02 Ram 25 and 3500s. To get all the parts shown in this video, as well as other parts and accessories for your Ram truck, check us out at boostautoparts.com. First thing we're going to do is remove this screw right up here. Now we're going to remove the 2 screws down in the door grab. Remove the bolt holding on the door handle and remove the door handle. Now there's a bunch of different trim clips around the door. You're just going to use a trim tool, kind of working your way around it, release all those trim clips. Then carefully lift it up off the lock lever. You do still have some connectors behind there, so be careful not to pull the door panel too far. And then you just want to kind of move it a little bit to get that. Now on the driver's side, you'll have the power adjust switch. You'll just depress the tab and then release the switch. You will want to unplug the window switch. There's a little latch on there. You're going to depress that, and then it'll unplug. Then just go ahead and set the door panel off to the side. Then depress the little connector latch on the mirror connector and unplug it. Then remove the foam covering up the mirror mounting bolts. And remove the 3 10mm nuts holding on the factory mirror. When removing it, you'll just kind of need to guide this grommet straight out. You can just use your hands and work around that. Then just remove the mirror and just guide the wiring harness straight out. Included with your Boost Auto Parts mirrors is a support bracket. You just want to remove this prior to mounting them up. You can just remove the nuts, and then you'll just set that support bracket to the side until we're ready to use it. If equipped, remove and unplug this black box that's on the mirror harness. You're just going to want to make sure this rubber grommet is slid all the way up towards the base of the mirror prior to installing it. It may already be all the way up. If not, go ahead and slide it up. Then mount up your new mirrors provided by Boost Auto Parts. Just go ahead and guide the wiring harnesses straight into the vehicle, and then align the studs with where they go into the door itself. And pull that grommet straight on in. Now with the included support bracket from Boost Auto Parts, go ahead and remove the foam piece and then remove the adhesive strip on the back side of it. You're going to guide it onto the bracket. Before applying the complete pressure, you want to go ahead and guide your connectors straight through that bracket. And then once those connectors are all the way through, go ahead and apply the adhesive all the way and slide the bracket up into place. Then thread on the nuts provided by Boost Auto Parts onto the studs and tighten them down. And plug in the Boost Auto Parts mirror. Certain older applications do use a different connector, which is shown right down here. If you have an older application like this, we'd have included this adapter, and it will just plug into your factory connection. So your connections may appear slightly different, however it is still going to be installed the same. For these older applications, you will also have a black wire that's coming out of this adapter harness. You just need to ground this out to a good body ground. We recommend grounding this out inside the cab, as sometimes the door is not a sufficient ground. This only applies to older vehicles which have this 3-pin connector. Included with your mirror should be a secondary wiring harness. You will have a varying amount of wires in here depending on the options on your mirrors. In this case, the mirrors are equipped with running light and signal, or a switchback function. So there's an orange and blue wire, but again, you may have a varying amount of wires depending on your exact mirror configuration. Plug that in. And just work the door boot out. It's just a grommet style, so you can just do it by hand. Route the wires down where the existing wires are and grab them down at the door jamb area. Carefully pull through the slack, being careful not to chafe any of the wires. To release the cab side of the door harness, you need to use a 90-degree pick. There's a latch in all 4 corners, so you'll just kind of work in all 4 corners releasing that latch, and then the entire body of the connector will come out. Now unplug the 2 connectors. There's just a tab, and then you can slide the connector straight out. Release these connectors from the body. There's just a little latch right here. You'll just pull that up a little bit, and then the connector will slide out. and do that with both of them. Now take a firm piece of metal, in this case we're using a straightened out coat hanger, and go ahead and run through the plastic as well as the rubber boot straight over here, so that it comes out on the other side so that the wires can be fished through. Tape the wires to the coat hanger very firmly with some electrical tape. Then pull your wires straight on through so that the wires come with it, and pull all your slack, being careful not to chafe the wires. Remove this trim bezel. There's just a couple clips holding it on, and it latches at the front down there, so just slide it out. Take your straightened out metal piece and route it into the cab. We've left the wires tied to the end of it with the electrical tape, so just pull it straight in. Now the installation for the passenger side is the exact same as the driver's side, so we're not showing that, but basically just get your wires into the cab. You can see we ran the passenger wires over to the driver's side right here, and they're just meeting down here in the kick panel. Now the orange wire, if equipped, is going to be your running light. The blue wires are for the turn signals. Do not splice the blue wires together. Those need to stay separate, as those are the individual turn signals for each side. However, you can splice the two orange wires together in the driver kick panel if you just want to run one up. Otherwise, you can run both of them up and through. So just go ahead and secure your wires up with zip ties. Now we need to run the running light and turn signal wires to the underhood area. You can see if we come up straight down here, we're going to be going through this grommet straight up at the top over here. And run straight through that grommet and tape your wires to the coat hanger. And we're actually going to push it through this grommet straight up over here. Pull the wire straight on through into the underhood area. Your orange running light wire will be tapped at the driver's side headlight, and your turn signals need to be tapped at each independent headlight. You can identify the passenger side wire because it is going to be the shorter blue wire. So the shorter blue wire will run over to the passenger side headlight, and then the orange and blue wire that are longer are going to go to the driver's side headlight. Remove the headlight. The procedure is the same on the driver and the passenger side. There's 3 screws or bolts holding it on. You can see if you look over in here, you have one straight up over here, one down over here where we have the wrench on, and then straight over here there's one right down over there. So we'll go ahead and remove those, and then the headlight just has one clip holding it on that can be released. Now some vehicles also have an additional threaded rod which comes straight through to here, so you may need to come through the top and just remove the nut that's on the back of what you're seeing is removed here. Remove the headlight. Now the wires we're going to be working with are these 3 wires right over here, which are going to your park and turn signal. So the wire colors are the same on the driver and the passenger side. The running light wire is going to be the black wire with yellow tracer. The turn signal wire is going to be the solid tan wire on each side. So you're going to tap your blue wire to the solid tan wire on each side, and then on the driver's side you're going to tap the running light orange wire, if equipped, onto the black wire with yellow tracer using the fusible taps provided by Boost Auto Parts. So the first thing we're going to tap onto is going to be pin 2 of the park light. This is going to be the black wire with yellow tracer. So we're going to go ahead and take our T-tap provided by Boost Auto Parts, place the wire into the jaws of the T-tap and fold it over. This is for the running light. You'll squeeze it until you feel it click, and if necessary you can use some pliers. So again, running light on a pin 2, the black wire with yellow tracer. Now we're going to go ahead and take the orange wire, or both orange wires if you ran both up. We're going to go ahead and strip the end off. And then we're going to go ahead and take that orange wire and place it into the fusible disconnect provided by Boost Auto Parts. Then we'll go ahead and crimp it down. Now these are heat shrink butt connectors, so you can apply some heat and shrink that down. Once you've done that, then you're just going to go ahead and take the disconnect and slide it into the T-tap on the black wire with yellow tracer. You want to make sure the metal from the disconnect slides directly into the T-tap and that the disconnect slides all the way forward. Now for the turn signal, which is going to be the blue wire, it is going to be tapping onto pin 3, which on both the driver and the passenger side should be a solid tan wire. So again, it's pin 3. The Boost Auto Parts mirrors are going to utilize a blue wire for turn signal. So go ahead and strip the blue wire. Now this procedure again is the same on the driver and passenger side, so we're just going to show you on one side here. Place it into the butt connector on the fusible tap provided by Boost Auto Parts. And then you'll go ahead and crimp that down. you can go ahead and heat shrink them down. And then again, this is going to be tapping onto pin 3, which is the solid tan wire. So you can see we've located the solid tan wire going to pin 3 here. You can use some pliers to help you squeeze it. So that is the turn signal on pin 3. And then you can just go ahead and plug your disconnect directly into the T-tap, making sure the metal from the disconnect slides all the way forward and that the metal slides directly down the middle of the T-tap. And just go ahead and place your headlights back into position, and then you're going to replace the 3 bolts for each of them. If you add a nut on the back of the threaded rod, be sure to reinstall it. Now for the power folding upgrade, we'll need to remove some areas over the dash here. You'll start by just making sure the vehicle's in park with the parking brake on. Go ahead and move the wheel all the way down. Now we need to remove this trim bezel. It's just held on with some trim clips, so just carefully work your way around it, popping those trim clips out. Turn the key to the run position, shift it all the way down into first gear, and then this should just be able to remove. Then you can go ahead and shift your vehicle back into park. Now you need to remove these 3 screws. And there's just a couple trim clips holding this piece on, so you just go ahead and kind of snap it back, and those will release. Now included in your kit will be a power folding switch, as well as a template for that power folding switch. We're going to place the power fold switch straight down here. You can locate any area that you want to place it. So go ahead and apply our template. Cut out the area for the power folding switch with a Dremel tool. Remove the sticker, and then go ahead and just place your switch right down into place. Now for the power fold upgrade, it will come with a harness. You just want to go ahead and plug the green connector into the switch that you just installed. Now you're going to take the rest of the wiring harness and just kind of tuck it all straight on down. And strip that black wire. And then we're going to go ahead and place it onto the ring terminal provided by Boost Auto Parts. And crimp that down. Remove this screw right here. Let's take our ring terminal provided by Boost Auto Parts. Place that on there, and then just go ahead and tighten it back down. And this will just kind of snap back up into place. Replace the 3 screws. Put this trim piece back on, again with the steering wheel all the way down, the parking brake set. We'll shift this down into first gear. Place this back up into position. We have 2 groups of wires here that do have shielding on them. The ones with shielding are going to run to the mirrors. Now you'll notice there are 2 different lengths of wires that have the shielding on it. The shorter side is going to run to the driver's side, and the longer one is going to run to the passenger side. Now you can see we ran that solid red wire from the power fold switch straight up over to this little fuse access cover was over that. We just removed that. What we're going to do is go ahead and strip off the end of the red wire, just like so. And then we're going to place it into the mini fuse tab, crimp it down. So we're going to go ahead and remove the original fuse in slot 6. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place that original fuse in the lower slot on the fuse tab. Just press that into place. Plug the fuse into fuse location number 6. Now you can see we've routed the wire back behind the parking brake. You want to make sure all your wires are behind that parking brake. Then we're just going to go ahead and pass our wires back up over through here to the door jamb. Now pull your wires straight on through. Now we've ran the coat hanger straight through. We've taped the power folding wires to it, and we'll just go ahead and pull it straight on up and in. Now slip these connectors back into their location. You want to make sure that any wires you added are over in the corners, being sure not to pinch any of them. Plug the connectors back in. And clip the door jamb connector back into place. Reinstall the trim piece. With the power fold wires still attached to the straightened coat hanger, insert it into the door and then grab it as it comes up over here. Plug this black box straight into the wire that you just ran, and then plug the other end into the mirror. Using some zip ties, tie the black box up out of the way. Place the door jamb boot back into position working around it with your hands. Plug in any connectors that you'd previously disconnected. And place the door panel back into position, making sure you clear the lock lever. Work your way around the door panel, clipping in all of the trim clips around the door. Replace the 3 screws holding on the door panel. Reinstall the door handle along with the bolt that holds it into place. And just like that, your installation is complete. To get all the parts and accessories shown in this video, as well as other parts and accessories for your truck or SUV, check out our website at boostautoparts.com.